welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I have a new series for you guys. I'm introducing to you my new series called Binge and Snatch. If you hadn't put the two together, it is where I will be reviewing the latest and greatest TV that I am currently indulging in while getting snatched and slayed, okay? I thought what better way to bring the two things I love together and incorporate it into a series. I mean, hello. And today we will be reviewing the trailer for Tell Me Lies as well as recapping what happened last season. Tell Me Lies is a Hulu original, and this show does star Grace Van Patten and Jackson White, who I think are together in real life. I think they're an actual couple. And then the executive producer of the show is Emma Roberts. You've seen her in teen movies. Something that sticks out to me that she was in was American Horror Story. She was in a couple of seasons of that. Coven. Hello. If you know, you know. And it premieres, the new season premieres on September 4th. Yeah, we're going to be reviewing each week, but I figured I'd start off with the trailer so we can dig in and talk about what happened last season and see what we have to look forward to with this new season. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click that little bell on the notification so you can be notified of all my future uploads. So without further ado, if you'd like to know how I achieved this look, let's go ahead and binge while we get snatched. Alright you guys, so of course I already went in and did my eyebrows because that's probably the most boring part about my makeup, so it's typical for me to just skip over that part. Anyway, I'm going to go back and forth between these two palettes right here. This is OG, obviously. You've seen it plenty of times, and it's been through some stuff, as you can see. And then my Smoky palette by Beauty Bay. And I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit here so you can see what I'm doing. So just to give you some backstory on Season 1 of Tell Me Lies. I'm going to try not to give you all the spoilers just in case you haven't watched it, but it's probably not best for you to watch this video at all if you haven't seen the show, because I probably will end up giving you the biggest spoilers of the show, just so we can do a recap for those who have watched. The show starts off at an engagement party within this friend group, this college friend group who all met in college, and it goes from that to 4 years ago when they first met in college. Let's start off with college. So Lucy, the lead here, who was played by Grace Van Patten, she is about to embark on her freshman year of college, and right when she moves into the dorm rooms, she immediately becomes friends with her roommate Macy and her neighboring classmates Pippa and Bree across the hallway. So she immediately becomes friends with these girls, and they end up going to this party the first night that they move in. And I do believe it's like a frat party, which they go to a lot of. They go to this party, and then Lucy meets the world's greatest F-boy character written of all time, Steven. Steven is either a sophomore or junior. I think he's a junior, though. Steven likes to play games. He has a lot of baggage, and he also has a ex-girlfriend that he's back and forth with. So once he sees Lucy in his crosshairs, that's like his new shiny toy that he gets to play with, because that's clear. That's pretty much what he does. He likes to play games, and when he sees Lucy, all bets are off. Like, it's just like he goes right for her, you know. Pippa, she already has her own boy toy already. Wrigley, who's the jock of the campus or whatever, head of the football team. And Wrigley is Steven's best friend, and he's best friends with Steven's roommate, Evan. So they're all already a clique. So once Pippa and Bree and Lucy come into the circle, they all just become this big friend group, along with Wrigley's brother, whose name I can't remember right now. As college goes on, things start to transpire. Macy actually ends up getting into this car wreck, ends up dying. As time goes on, you realize that Steven has something to do with the car crash, and he actually was the one driving the car. I'm realizing I'm doing a lot of talking but not any makeup, so I'm gonna go in to this shade here, Cabin, and my Beauty Bay palette, and I'm just gonna use that as a transition shade. And I am using a reference photo just to show y'all what the look is inspired by here. Photo right here I'm using as a reference. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can recreate that because it's super pretty. Song and dance within this friend group is there was a lot of lies and a lot of secrets. So things start to transpire, and as things transpire, more secrets are kept, more lies are told. And of course, you know, Steven is just keeping this secret that he was a part of the crash with that happened with Macy all to himself. Nobody really knows until he comes out and tells Lucy, and then Lucy is keeping the secret for him. Again, he's still going back and forth between Lucy and his ex Diana. He pretty much gets to have his cake and eat it too. But the thing about Lucy and her character is Lucy is like a female version almost of Steven, but she's still a woman, if that makes sense. This color is a lot darker than I thought it would be. So I think I'm gonna go into a lighter shade. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit this shade right here, the Jaclyn Hill palette, G Money, and just lighten up this situation. I didn't know it was gonna be that light. Or I didn't know that the first color was gonna be that dark. But what Steven gets out of both characters are, with Lucy, it's mostly just a game. Like, I think he had genuine feelings for her for the most part, but at the same time, you know, especially after she found out the secret, he was mostly with her because it benefited him to, you know, to be with her so he can control the situation, you know. And then with Diana, she was kind of like a driving force because, you know, she has a lot of influence over Steven. Like, if anybody's going to impact him, it's going to be Diana. Because they're in the same field. They both want to be lawyers. And she's got connections because she kind of comes from money. Steven can benefit a lot from, you know, still having Diana in his life. So he uses that to his benefit. So he knows what he can get out of certain people and what have you. But again, he's probably the greatest F-boy character ever written for me, like, hands down. So obviously this is going to be like a Halo Eye moment. So I'm going to jump into this black and the Beauty Bay palette, Tattoo is what it's called. And I'm going to go in the inner corners first. Going back to when the show starts off, where they're at this engagement party for Evan and Bree, who are getting married. Right when they get there, you know, Peppa is hounding Lucy about not making the day about her and Steven when he shows up because it's about Bree and Evan. It's their day, and Lucy, you know, assures, you know, Peppa that that's not going to happen. She hasn't even thought about Steven in 4 years. There's nothing to worry about. Well, once Steven sees Lucy at this party, when he finally shows up, it doesn't take long for him to approach her and, you know, hello, haven't seen you in a long time, blah, 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 blah. And obviously her heart stops once she sees him as well because they had a big impact on each other. And a lot of things transpired within not only within the friend group, but between them. And I'm going to take it on the outer corner as well. And I'm leaving, obviously, the middle blank. Because we're going to go on with shimmer. I'm going to go back in the Jaclyn Hill palette with that G Money shade and just blend this out a smidge. You can see what a world of difference that made. Just that it looks more blended. That's the look you're going for. You may even lose a little pigment when you blend it out, so don't be afraid to go back in as I'm about to with some more of the shade that you had in that area. You don't want to lose the pigment either. So, and I'm just taking this Ride or Die Diamonds and the Jaclyn Hill palette right here, and I'm just going in with my finger and putting that on the center of the eye. I am bringing it out on the sides just so it can be like well blended. Lucy had like a childhood friend that, you know, she had been friends with for a long time. I'm gonna have to look up her name because I forgot what it was, but once Steven shows up, and this is at the very end of this season, once Steven shows up and greets Lucy or whatever, and they exchange pleasantries, he's on the phone with somebody, and clearly somebody's about to meet him there. It ends up being the girl he's dating, which is Lucy's childhood best friend. They go in for this hug and, you know, greet each other or whatever, and the look on Steven's face is like, yeah, bitch, I'm with her. You just can't believe it, you know? That's the time he's on. He's always on that time, so clearly not much has changed over the course of 4 years. I'm going in with a little of this shade, Get Ready With Me, and just taking it on the edge of the shimmer we just put down. I'm going to go back in with the brush we used for the black to just further blend everything out. It's going to go in with this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. So another major development that happens during the final half of the final episode of the season, Steven had like a little thing for Lucy at one point in the show, and him and Lucy established an understanding. You know, she liked Steven, and then Evan had this thing for Bree, because they had just started dating, so they kind of just swept it under the rug and, you know, just called it what it was. But nonetheless, he had a crush on her. But before they even established that, like, Evan would be like a sounding board for Lucy. And so when she was having issues or problems with Steven, she would talk to Evan. And, you know, they kind of had like a friendship or whatever. They had went to this frat party or whatever in the last episode of the season. Steven and Lucy. Well, everybody was there. Steven was talking with Diana, his ex, of course, and she was like his motivation when it come to their field and his future plans about being a lawyer and all this stuff. So she got in his head saying, you know, you deserve better, you need better, blah, 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 blah. And so he ends up ultimately breaking up with Lucy at this party. Well, at the end of the night, Lucy's distraught, she's crying, all this stuff, and Evan is there to console her. Towards the end of the episode, Evan ends up in Lucy's bed. They end up sleeping together. So, fast forward to 4 years later, where they're at this engagement party, and Evan and Bree are about to embark on marriage. It's just like, woskis. And given the fact that, you know, Steven shows up with Lucy's childhood best friend, and, you know, they're together, I'd like to think that Steven ends up finding out about Evan and Lucy, but that's something to be found out, like, with this season coming up. I went in with the Too Faced Born This Way, my OG, in the shade Cocoa. So the big questions for me this new season is Steven or Bree gonna find out about Evan and Lucy? Is there gonna be any more developments when, you know, with Steven being involved in Macy's death? What's gonna happen with Wrigley's brother? Because I didn't mention this, but he was also a part of the car crash. But he wasn't as involved in the car crash as he thought he was. Like, he thought he was the reason that Macy and Steven crashed. But again, nobody knew Steven was a part of the crash at all, so he just thought he was the cause of Macy dying in general. He didn't know Steven was in the car. Steven was actually the one driving the car, and he ends up getting out and putting Macy's body in the driver's seat so it looked like she was driving. He didn't give Lucy that part of the story. He just said that he was in the car when Macy wrecked, and he just left. You know, the scene of the crash. He didn't tell her that he was driving. Nobody knows that fact except for him. Got my concealer blended out. Now we're gonna set the face with my OG I Heart Revolution chocolate banana scented baking powder. I'm just gonna go in with this Super Set hyaluronic acid setting spray by Toy Factory, just to soak up any excess powder. You can feel the hydration with this stuff. You know, how did Steven end up with Lucy's childhood best friend? Which I'm gonna look up what her name is because it's driving me bonkers. Lydia is her name. So yeah, I'm curious to know how they came about, how they started dating. I'm gonna go in with this Rim Beauty blush, the satin matte blush, in the shade Stars in the Sand. And this is Rim Beauty is an Ariana Grande collection. I love this shade. It's like perfect. Sorry for my ashy hands. Good lord. Take it on this blush brush. So sorry, my battery died, so we're back. We're gonna go in with the Hulu Toasted Bronzer by Benefit. This is also an OG. I've been using this stuff for forever. Another big question I have is, whatever happened to Wrigley's brother? My guess is he may have never recovered from thinking that he was the cause of Macy's death, and, you know, push himself off a bridge or something. I don't know. So that's also a big question I have. I'm gonna sculpt out the nose just a smidge. I'm gonna go back in the eyes and put some eyeliner in the waterline. Just going in with a black eye pencil. I can't tell you where this is from because it's all faded out. I've had it forever. Hollywood something. And I'm going to go back in that shade G Money in the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I'm just going to go and buff it on the lash line. Lower lash line. I'm just going to whip it out like that. I'm going to go in the inner corner with this Rider Diamonds shade again. I'm just going to take that in the inner corner here. I'm going to go in with this Lash and Roll mascara by e.l.f. and just put the lower lash line and roll the top. This show is like one of my favorites because it's like the most perfect show for me and my taste in TV because it has mystery, it's got seduction, it's got passion, it's got a little romance, you know what I'm saying? So all that, along with great writing and great directing, makes for a juicy ass show. And it's like perfection for me. Going with these lashes I got from TikTok Shop. They're very, very fluffy. And I feel like when you have a bold look like this, you need fluffy, big lashes. So, hello. Alright, while I'm waiting for my lashes to get tacky, I'm going to go in with this lip liner by Dose of Colors, and it's a chocolate chip. I'm going to go in this NYX Pro Fix Stick Concealer in the shade Natural Tan, and I'm just going to go in the center of the lips with this. And I'm going to go in with this Fenty Beauty lip gloss. Alright, and I'm going to go on with this Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray by e.l.f. and I'm just going to set the face. But yes, I'm super excited about this new season. There are some new faces joining this cast. We got Tom Ellis from Lucifer. And then we got Thomas Doherty, who is a walking pot of seduction. I swear, he plays the sinister, seductive role so well. Like, oh my god. Alright, you guys, that is it for today's video. Please be on the lookout for my reviews each week. I should do it within the same week that the show premiered, depending on what day it comes on. So, because I gotta film and I gotta edit, so bear with me, but you will be getting a review each week for each episode. So I'm super excited. I thought, what better way to bring the two things I love the most together. It's like perfection. So anyway, be on the lookout for that. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video.